light. It seemed Miss Richards recognised it too. "Very well," she said in clipped tones. "But mark my words, you'll realise your feelings for me, and you will regret this. It's not over." There was a haughty little sniff, followed by quick footsteps and the thud of the door. A landscape painting above the billiards table trembled. Anne waited for the man to leave, but a heavy, masculine sigh filled the room. The sound contained a world of annoyance, and she imagined it was how Atlas, with the world balanced on his shoulders, would have sighed. She tried, and failed, to stifle a laugh. She froze at the sudden silence, the stillness, and then those muffled steps, slow and evenly paced, drew closer and closer. Her heart leaped to her throat. Gleaming black shoes came into her field of view, long, firm legs covered by well-made trousers, a silk waistcoat, a white cravat. Her upward perusal ended on a striking aristocratic face, high cheekbones, a prominent aquiline nose, green eyes and dark hair. At the moment, his firm jaw was clenched. A jolt of recognition released her from her stupor. Michael Grey, the Earl of Thornhill. "It's you!" He glared at her. "Very articulate, Miss Middleton. May I ask what you are doing on the floor?" She jumped to her feet, nearly colliding with him in the process. He stepped back. "I'm not trying to entrap you, that's certain." "Well, let us be grateful for small favours," he said, his voice tight. Lord Thornhill had never liked her. She couldn't put her finger on the exact reason. He was her sister Elizabeth's cousin by her first marriage, and he'd been quite smitten with Elizabeth after her husband had died and he'd returned to London to claim the earldom. Everyone had thought they would marry. But Elizabeth had been in love with someone else, and married the other man instead. If the animosity had begun after her sister turned down Thornhill's proposal, Anne might have understood it more. But Anne suspected Thornhill had disliked her even before then. There was something in the way he looked at her, as though he didn't approve of what he saw. Was it because she was the complete opposite of her sister? Passably pretty, while Elizabeth was lovely. An outspoken, opinionated woman who would most likely become a spinster, while Elizabeth had always been elegant and proper and exceedingly popular. If so, it really wasn't fair to disapprove of someone simply because they didn't live up to the paragon of virtue he imagined in his mind. She assumed her dislike for him was equal to his dislike for her. Anne went to the bookshelves and began to search by the muted light of candles that filled gold wall sconces. "Do women always follow you into secluded libraries?" she asked, without looking at him. Odd, she could feel his presence behind her, though he was silent. It was probably the force of his disapproval making itself known. "Only Miss Richards. She hasn't stopped seeking me out for the past week. I thought to escape her by coming in here, but she followed me." "I do admire her tenacity." "Yes, you would." Subtle emphasis on you. "Is that how you'll find a husband, Miss Middleton? Throw yourself at him during a musical soiree?" She glanced over her shoulder, lifting her eyebrow and tossing the most disdainful look she could muster at him. "How else, my lord?" Either he couldn't think of a retort to that, or he'd been silenced by his shame. Good. Let him dwell on his atrocious behaviour. Lord Thornhill would never have insulted Elizabeth like that, or, for that matter, any of the ladies present at tonight's gathering. To him, Anne was different because she spoke her mind and didn't waste her life trying to be perfect. To him, she wasn't quite a lady. A title on the bookshelf suddenly